Hello and welcome to this Red Gaming Tech video, myself Amata, where I'm going to go through the Green Man Gaming Summer Sale with some of the picks from the games on offer there. There are a metric ton of games. This is just my picks. I could honestly pick tons and tons if I was to go through every single game on offer, but it'd also be here till next Christmas. We're also going to highlight a couple of games that are on sale on Steam. There's no big sale on, but there are the special offers of the week, so I'm just going to highlight a couple of games that are worth your time of at least checking out. So before we go any further, I just want to say this is not a sponsored video. However, in the description below this video you will find an affiliate link for Green Man Gaming. If you purchase anything through that link, we will receive a small commission. Anyway, so let's get started with the first game on my list. It's Noire. Now this game doesn't really need a lot of introduction, I feel. It is very unique in a lot of ways. The setting is one that we don't see too often. Obviously it had a rather unique face technology for the animations and how the faces actually looked. And of course there's a whole investigation mechanic and investigating crime scenes as well. Now I will say that it isn't perfect by any means. The way that investigations work and how you interrogate people is a little silly. There's that famous meme almost about, I'll gently press this witness, and then your character shouts in their face and then ends up being really aggressive, and you're just like, it's not really what I had in mind. But despite those niggles, I still think it's a worthwhile game, and it is really cool to see its time period being explored, a really fun world to explore. And if you're into your crime stories, if you're, like going around a scene and picking up clues and trying to figure out, oh, this person we should speak to, and piecing all the clues you've got together to who you should speak to next, and this is definitely one for you, especially at this heavily reduced price of 70% off, making it £7.50. So we're going to move on to a collection next, which is Bioshock. Now I'm not going to waste your time pretending that you don't know what Bioshock is. You have at least heard of it, even if you haven't played it. The reason I'm highlighting this is it is all three games, Bioshock 1, Bioshock 2 and Bioshock Infinite, and we have all three games on offer here for 75% off, making it £10 for all three games. Now personally I already own them all, so not really I'm going to get myself, but that's a really good deal for three really good games. I mean, number 2... It's probably the weakest of the three, in my personal opinion, but Bioshock 1 and Bioshock Infinite are absolute classics, even if they both have their own issues. You can also get Bioshock Infinite by itself for £5. Unfortunately, there is no reduction on the remastered editions by themselves of Bioshock 1 or 2. They are full price at present. So if you do want to get them, it is more worth your time getting the collection. So we're going to move over to Resident Evil 7. Now, there was a lot of concern about this game before it came out, because it had a pretty significant change. Obviously, it was going from the traditional third person to first person. But Resident Evil had been pretty dire for a while. Resident Evil 5 was okay, and the less said about 6, the better. So I was really cautiously optimistic that a harsh reboot is exactly what the series needed, and absolutely, yes it was. There's a reason this game made its way onto my Game of the Year list for that year. It is absolutely fantastic, and despite the fact that it has a big change in perspective, it still manages to keep the core of what makes Resident Evil fun. And the best part is, you don't really need to have played any of the other Resident Evil games to play this. The lore of Resident Evil is a touch messy, just to be polite and concise, so it's probably for the best. And you can just enjoy it just as a really, really solid horror experience with really fun exploration, cool environments. The puzzles are meh, but personally that's not why I play Resident Evil. I play Resident Evil for the horror and just to run around shooting zombies, or obviously not zombies in this case, but still very, very good, very scary in places, really nice build of atmosphere, and just a really solid horror game, and one of the best Resident Evil games ever made, in my personal opinion. Would recommend it to anyone, Resident Evil fan or otherwise, especially when it's 33% off, making it £13.39, so it's not a reduction off the full price of the game, but obviously it's been out for quite some time. If perhaps you gave this one a miss, or you didn't want to spend the full price on it, or you just haven't had a chance to play it, I would highly, highly recommend it. So we're going to move over from the AAA for a second to something a little more indie with a pack of Inside and Limbo. So, Playdead are of course rather famous in the indie sphere. Limbo was definitely what put them on the map. Sort of side-scrolling game with a very unique aesthetic, basically black and white, and just basically sort of small child in a scary world trope that we kind of see a lot in indie games. But the story is really, really interesting, and it's one that's told very much in what, this is what you see around you. There's no words or spoken dialogue or any real interaction between characters, really. You're just seeing your character go through the world and deal with the challenges and puzzles that you come across. It is a very heavy puzzle-focused game, so if you don't like puzzles, maybe check out some gameplay to see if it's for you. Inside is a little less heavy on the puzzles in the traditional sense. It has puzzles in a different way. They're definitely still there, but let me put it this way. I'm terrible at puzzles, and I still managed to finish Inside in decent time. In fact, there's a full playthrough of Inside on this very channel if perhaps you want to give it a look. You will find a playlist linked in the description below this video, or if there's no playlist, I'll at least link the first episode, because I generally don't remember if I made a playlist for it. I would hope so, but I don't know. Anywho, so the two of them together is, sorry, I hit my mic there, is fantastic. Both of them were really, really good games. Inside especially made its way onto my Game of the Year list for that year, and they're both legendary in the indie space for very good reasons. If you're a fan of background storytelling, or the sort of world that is kind of inferred to you, and you're kind of raising a lot of questions that are answered as you go through the game, and more are raised as you go forward as well, then this is definitely a game on both sides that you'll like, especially when you get both games for 73% off, making the collection £5.93. So we're going to move over to our final GMG game, which is another bundle of Metro Redux. So the latest Metro just came out and was a bit of a diversion from the series as we know it, and if perhaps you are waiting for the other games to go on sale so you can enjoy that game, then your time may have come, my friends. It is 77% off, making it £5.75. These are the remastered editions, so they're improved graphically and improved optimization. Metro is still very demanding, so if your PC perhaps isn't up to snuff, I would just triple check the requirements just to be super safe. It is really cool series of games though, very interesting lore, sort of the post-apocalypse dystopia, and really interesting little touches like the fact that bullets are so rare, their currency and stuff like that, and you're just exploring this sort of underground of survivors and getting to know them and getting to know the world in a very interesting environment and very well presented story as well. So I would highly recommend both games to you all. So we're going to move over to the Steam game that I picked out. I did have another one, but I actually didn't notice that it was running out of the Steam sale in about 45 minutes, and there's no way you're going to be able to even see this video in that time. Anywho, the other one, it does run out in about a day, 24 hours, 40 minutes to be precise at the time of recording, so if you're interested in this, do act quickly. It is Prey, and is 80% off, making it £3.99, which is an absolute steal for a really, really fun game. If you're into your sci-fi, and if you're into first-person shooters, and you're into your horror, this is one definitely for you. It is quite a difficult game, I will say. If you choose the wrong skills in your skill tree, and if you don't know what you're doing, the game will not forgive you very kindly. At least certain enemies won't as well, but it presents an interesting challenge that I really appreciate, because a lot of games just don't really offer that. It's mild obstacles, to say the least. So personally, I really love this. It did come under fire a little bit, but it is a very well received game overall, despite its problems, and I would highly recommend it to anyone who likes their sci-fi and likes a bit of a challenge as well. And again, £3.99, so cheap. Anyway, that is me done for this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, your support is highly appreciated. Do remember to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, to help out a great deal, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.